got like 2 pillows stacked up, and this is kind of like tucked in here. I don't know. It'll do, I guess. But knife. I'm exhausted, beach. We are traveling for work right now. Not too far, but we had a work trip this weekend, and it's a bit much for me. I didn't have all of the details of like all of what would be like happening and expected, and it's just been a lot. We're exhausted, but I go back home today, which I'm, oh my god, let me not stab this pillow with our knife. I'm really, really excited to go home and get back to our regular routine, because this has so thrown us off in so many different ways. Yeah, I've had a lot to think about during this trip. I don't know what it is, like just being in a new area and then being around so many different people, a lot of people, especially people we don't know. and then there being, you know, there's a special event going on, so there was like a lot of drinking, smoking, like people dancing, partying, all that stuff, and like, not us, not I, said the cat, because we're working, so we're just very like chill. But even if I wasn't, I'm like, this is not for me. This is not the life for me. We are not about this. I said that like in my head and out loud so many times. Like, I'm just, it's not for me. Yeah, it's a lot. So yeah, it was like a 3-day, 2-night little trip here, and I keep stabbing the pillow. I'm like putting holes in it. Oopsie. But we got an apple. We brought a bag with a few things from home, I think for comfort and like safety more than anything, you know, having our safe foods with us, because I didn't know like where we were going to be and what we were going to be doing. So I was like, I need to know that like I have something that I can eat. Although we did try some new things, which was fine. Still, my body is just like not liking everything that's going on. I forget where I heard it said before that like an apple is similar to, if not better than, like a cup of coffee. And we really do try to limit caffeine. We did bring an energy drink with us yesterday. We had it yesterday morning after only getting like a few hours of sleep. So that did help a little bit. It was the Alani Nu. I forget what it's called, but it's like orange cream flavored. That's like one of those treats that I like every now and then, but I didn't want to like double up on the caffeine today. So I'm like, apple and peanut butter. Yes. Because again, I don't exactly know what the plan is for today. I'm just here, but so looking forward to going home. Yes. So it's been a little chaotic more recently, and things have been a little more busy, and will be for like the next month or two, I think. Yeah, got a lot going on at this time of year, this season. Okay, let me get into this apple. Actually, I wasn't sure how I wanted to do this. We brought the sharp knife. Let me stop waving this in my face. Jesus Christ. To cut the apple, but then I'm like, I don't have anything to cut it on. There's like some wood slabs in here. This is like a really old historical place that we're at, which is, it's neat, it's cool. Yeah, but I'm in this little room. We got some like wood and iron. I don't know. I'm like, I don't have like a paper towel to put the apple on. I don't want to put it straight on the wood. I'm like, people probably put their naked butt there. I don't know, beach. And one of the things that I was looking forward to in being away from home was getting away from the little creepies. As much as we love so many different kinds of insects and like arachnids, we do not like centipedes. We cannot stand them. And I saw them in my dream last night. It's like we knew. We had a sixth sense. We knew. And then when I woke up this morning, let me see if we can. I don't think I can zoom in this way. I don't think. You can't see it down in there. It's down there in the corner. I saw it as soon as I woke up. I was like, no, the one thing I was hoping not to see. Yeah, and then we got over here our water, our electrolytes, our headphones, of course. And then we got some supplements over there. I'm like, am I a grandma? Big grandma energy. Yes, and then we got our fuzzy uniform suit on, all fuzzy with our fuzzy socks. I mean, oh my gosh. I figure the least I can do if I don't know what's happening, if I don't have all the details, is I'm gonna, make things as comfortable and cozy as possible. Okay, let's get into this apple. Maybe we can talk a little bit about what's been. I decided I'm just gonna use the knife. Instead of cutting the apple, we're gonna bite into the apple. Be completely feral. And we're gonna use a sharp knife for the peanut butter. I think that sounds like a plan. Yeah, I got the other week for the autumn equinox, right before Libra season started, along with the Virgo solar eclipse, I think it was. Yeah, we got several different kinds of apples and some other kind of stuff to celebrate the times. Anyways. It's an apple. We did give ourselves another little manicure pedicure too. Before we left for the trip. Because of the event, to make ourselves look a little more put together. We wore a dress. I don't do that too often. So that was nice. Here we go with the peanut butter. Better than coffee, huh? Let's see. It's definitely a more healthy option in a lot of ways. We also brought our plant-based protein shakes with us, which we like. We have a couple of those. Some Kind bars, fruit and nut. And we even brought some like oatmeal. Just in case. I don't know. Well, a cool painting over our head. I thought that was nice. Tree with a bunch of roots. Okay. The shampoo, conditioner, and body wash they have here are all the same scent too. It was really interesting because when I was staying and it's got like the waterfall overhead shower. It was neat. But then it's one of those open showers where it doesn't have a door to close. It's just like half a glass wall. So the other half's open. I'm like, this seems messy. I don't know. But I was standing there and I was looking at the soaps and I saw pepper and I was like, wait a minute, what? It's like black peppercorn. And I forget like 2 other things. But I just was like, that's an interesting choice of scent. I did use the body wash. I was like, okay, but I was like, oh, I don't know. Why black peppercorn? Why does that need to be in there? I don't want to smell like pepper. Triggers memory. Triggers memory of a story someone told me a long time ago about someone who tasted peppery. We're not going to retell that story, but I'm just like, oh God. Okay. Like I said, we had a lot to think about this weekend around work and boundaries again, which was a huge lesson of ours during our Saturn return. Just dropped my apple on me. And Saturn went back into Pisces, retrograded into Pisces recently too, until I want to say February of the new year. So we got, you know, a few more months to kind of just go over the lessons that we have learned, kind of like finalize all that stuff and reminisce a little bit. And one of the ways I look at it is like this being one of those experiences that I can tie to the astrological influence and like, okay, yeah, how have things changed? What have I learned? And how is this current experience portraying that, whether it is like the same lesson repeating itself karmically, or, you know, we have learned from it and like better things are coming of it. So I think the opportunity in itself, being able to go on this little trip and just have the experience was cool in a sense, in a way. But I would have liked to know more beforehand so that I could better prepare, even though I'm one of those people who, you know, brings like anything and everything, like more than is needed, just in case. Still, it was like, I feel like mental and like emotional preparation and also physical. My body is so tired, so exhausted, just from having to be on for like so many hours of the day. Yeah, I think it was on Friday. We worked for like over 12 hours. It was like 12 p.m. to like after 12 a.m. And then yesterday it was like 8:30 in the morning until 11 or 12 at night. And then today we had to go home. So I'm like, it's short term. It's not a huge deal. But also we've gotten into such a rhythm, personal rhythm, where we just have our routines and rituals at home that we follow on a day-to-day basis that help keep our nervous system regulated and help us feeling good. And that's one of the things that we kind of noticed yesterday, especially when everyone was like doing their celebrations and stuff, where I was like, this isn't for me. Just, you know, how quickly those things can throw your system out of whack. And then you're not feeling so good, you know? And then I went ahead and I kind of like separated myself from people mostly. And I even had my headphones with me, so I popped those in for a bit. Was like listening to different frequencies and just like other kind of like normal stuff. I was looking out at the beautiful view of like the nature. There's like waterfalls and, you know, forests and all that stuff. And I even had like one of my little toys with me, like a puppet. And I just was trying, breathing, like doing all these things to kind of like relax in a place that was very overstimulating, very loud, very chaotic. And again, there's like people smoking. Like I don't like having to breathe that in secondhand. And then, you know, some of the strange behaviors associated with people who are, you know, also drinking and just all that stuff. So yeah, even though it's like we are technically like safe or physically safe, like nothing bad's gonna happen to us, it's still just like internal safety. And that was, again, also one of the things that we had to look at and really hone in on during our return, you know, is like, how do we cultivate a better sense of internal safety for ourselves and be able to maintain that state, even amidst chaotic times and situations and things like that. So I think we did a pretty good job. But at the same time, it's like just reminding me that like if I were to do something like this again, which I hope is not anytime soon, we would need to be more assertive and like making sure that like the people who are all involved with like setting this up and, you know, having our help, that there would be like better communications and boundaries around that, about like letting me know, you know, that like when I would be expected to start, when I'd be expected to finish, that I would have enough time to sleep and rest and take breaks, whereas like this trip wasn't that. So I was like, well, that's the main thing. I'm just reflecting on that. What else? It's like when, especially when your body is just like physically so tired, like my muscles are very sore, especially like my arms, having to do a lot of labor. Thankfully our back's still good at this current point in time, but I'm just like, ooh, bitch. It's mostly like our arms and our upper back, and then our upper legs a little bit too, doing a lot of driving. I don't know, just stuff. But the more like physically tired you are, it's like brain function starts to decrease. I feel like it can be hard to think straight. And then it's like kind of going into survival mode where you're just like, I'm just trying to get through this. And ideally, right, like I don't like to work like from that state. I would prefer to live and work from a much more relaxed space where I'm not completely exhausted. But this is indeed one of those times. Okay? Okay. I thought that was funny in this building, because a lot of it's older. It was like a renovated old building, historical building, and so it's like they kept a lot of things the same, but then they tried to modernize it in certain like small ways. And one of these ways is they have an Apple TV in the rooms, which I thought was so funny. Just for like what it is. Like it's a very like naturey, scenic place, very like old, again, like very like the wood, the iron. We got like the whole structure. We don't have like a regular AC or heating system. I think they even have these like, it's like the small portable heaters in the rooms or something. I don't know. It's just interesting. You know, it's like, but Apple TV, yes, gotta have that. The entertainment, right? I would prefer other comforts, but I'm like, okay. I don't even have time to be using that. We're gonna be out of here soon. But we got time for apples. And I used to work, I used to work as a housekeeper years ago for about 4 years, 4.5 years, something like that. And we've seen things. And so anytime I do travel anywhere and go to a hotel or like an Airbnb, although we haven't been to Airbnb in a long time, because of, you know, stuff going on with them, but with the hotels, it's like we know like the things people used to do and like how unclean they can be. And so that's like one of the first things we notice when we come into, where I was like, and again, we pack everything with us. So I brought my pink sparkly Crocs that has like house shoes to like walk around in here, so I'm not barefooted. And then we were able to wear those in the shower last night, which was good. People are wild. I don't know how they can just be like bare ass feet walking around on random floors where so many other feet and butts have been. Who knows? You know the kinds of things people do in these rooms? We haven't quite gotten to the point of packing all our own cleaning supplies, but I'm gonna be that person one of these days, I'm sure. I did even pack some like to go. I do have like a to go Clorox and Shout and Band-Aids, like all like, girl, you never know in case of emergency. That's probably a part of our Virgoan nature as well, since we have multiple placements there. Heavy Virgo influence. As well as some other personality archetypes, I suppose. and flavors of autism. Well, this is a pretty good apple. We got, I think I got 5 of them. Different kinds. I wanted to try some that I hadn't had before. The one was from New Zealand. That might have been the Envy apple. That one, honestly, upon first whiff and taste, I thought of like butt. And I don't know, maybe because it was like shipped so far, it wasn't quite as fresh, or it was just like more watered down. It wasn't too sweet. I don't know exactly what an Envy apple is supposed to taste like, but I didn't really like that one. This one, I forget what kind this is, but it's nice. I just can't wait to go home and go back to our normal life and better regulate ourselves in our homey, comfy environment that we're used to, and not this chaos. Although it's nice. We enjoyed trying some of the new things. But I like my routine. More peanut butter. Little creepy's still down there. They haven't moved, thank God. You don't want to come near me. At home, I have a spray bottle filled with water, and then I use some peppermint essential oil. I'm almost out of it because of how much I've gone through. So I have a few other oils that we put in there, and then we just shoot that all around. I first did it preventatively, what's the word? I don't know, to try and keep them away, because where I live at home, it's also like a nature-y place where it's near forest and a body of water, so there's going to be more insects around, which I typically don't mind. It's just the freaking creepies, and they do this thing that I can't stand. Like, they will literally come up on my bed and crawl on me. And it's like one of those worst fears, and then it happens, you're like, ah! And some of them get really big where they're like a few inches long. Some of them are tiny, but some of them are fucking huge. And it's all those little leggers on me. I'm like, no, thank you. I can deal with 8 with the arachnids, but you're talking about like 10, 15, 20 plus legs. No, honey, you gotta go. You gotta go. Get the fuck away from me. And I talk to them just like that too. I say, get the fuck out, creepies. And that's why we like keeping the spiders around too, because they're good hunters. And usually when I wake up early in the morning, and if I do turn on the light or something, I'll see them mid-hunt sometimes. So they will take care of some of that for me, but I don't know that they necessarily go after the bigger ones. There can be a significant size difference. But I was gonna say, when I spray near them or the wall or something, they will literally free fall from the fucking ceiling. And because of where my like bed is, especially too, sometimes they'll fall straight on my bed and they're crawling across it. They did that last week, right after I like washed my bedding again, with like the Equinox and everything. I got everything all nice and perfect and ready to go for a new season. And then the little creepy fell, it's just free fall, like, oh, straight on my bed, and then crawl. I was like, I took my pillows off and the top blanket, and then I just was like, they fucked it all up. And then it happened again the next night, and I was like, fuck. You know, like I'm not about to like rewash all my bedding just because of that, but I kind of want to. Like, I don't want to sleep on it just because of that. They bug me. There aren't too many bugs that bug me, but they are one of them. I don't know. I don't know that I need to learn to love them. I could probably educate myself more about them, but I do not care for them. Okay, let's I'm struggling here to eat my apple. I don't think I got a text yet either. Again, I don't know what we doing this morning, what the plan is. So I'm just kind of trying to tend to ourselves and get the day going here for us before it's time to start work again, I guess. Lovely angles, huh? Yeah. So flattering. So gracious. So cute. We don't really give too much fucks about that. I don't know. I think after I get back and I'm able to settle down again, we'll be able to think a little bit better about the weekend. But I was gonna say there definitely were several moments, especially yesterday, like on the second day, where after having not gotten adequate sleep, our whole body being sore, being exhausted, being like hungry, thirsty, because again, not even having a break to stop for a minute and like tend to myself. Because even though I brought like protein shakes and stuff like that, it was like I didn't even have like a moment to necessarily like get one, you know? It was just constant like things happening. So yeah, like a break would have helped, even just a single break. But so we felt several moments yesterday, especially as the day went on, where I was just like, I'm burnt out. Not even that we're getting here, like I'm burnt out. And you know, because then we start feeling irritable and we're just not able to like perform our job or do as good as we normally would, you know? And we try our best in those times, right, not to like do anything to like hurt anyone, because I know when we get irritable and we get burnt out, it's very easy to like become like somebody else, you know, where we can like say and do things that are not very kind. And I see that, you know, around me. I've seen it in people around me this weekend even. And I've even had my moments where I've had to like apologize, you know, and be like, oh, like I'm not upset with you. I'm just frustrated right now because of XYZ going on, right? Do our best to communicate in those times and, you know, not necessarily dismiss what we're feeling. Like the body signals to us in those ways to let us know that like something's up, something's going on that needs our attention. So, but then again, like if we're not able to take that time to provide that attention to ourselves and to tend to the thing that is bothering us or to our just like personal needs, then yeah, it makes sense why we would get kind of funky. So, but we try to, you know, prevent that as much as possible. And then in the case where things do happen and people get short, we do our best to just kind of de-escalate, calm, just finish things up, get through, yeah. But it does take away from the experience and make it not so enjoyable either. And just makes me that much more excited to go home. So yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm gonna post this. I just wanted to think through out loud what we've been experiencing and going through this weekend. Yeah. I eat my apple. And I knew I was probably gonna be due for another video soon anyways. So why not? But I don't know. It's just, with our Saturn return and like boundaries around work. We touched on that briefly with this experience. And one of the things I thought was like, I would not do this again without having like more clear parameters in place of like, I would need this. And I think it's easier when like for the people that I do know that I work with on a regular basis and I'm used to like helping them in different ways. I guess I didn't necessarily expect to have to do that. And also I wasn't the one setting it up, right? Because I work for a company, an agency, or whatever you want to call that. So they were the ones who set up all the details. I was just kind of like gonna show up and go along for the ride. But if everything hasn't been worked out beforehand or well communicated or well prepared, then when I show up to do my job and we run into issues, which we did from the very start, then it does not make for a smooth transition or experience for any of the people involved. And that was a big problem. And it's not the first time something like this has happened. Yeah. And we've been looking for other work and trying to change careers for a long time, for many years. But there are specific things that we're looking for that we have not quite found. And I don't believe in just like jumping from job to job or taking whatever opportunities. I think that, you know, there are ones that are like better, well suited for us and like our needs and like our skills and all those things. So we've been careful about like, you know, what we're looking for, what we're trying to attract to us or what we're accepting. But we just haven't found that right opportunity yet. So we're continuing to do this whilst also knowing that like we need to move on. And that was a big lesson for us during our return. And we tried so many different things. And so we are still working on that. And God bless Saturn's dense ass energy that really took us through the ringer. And yeah, we will get to talking more about some of those specific lessons and experiences as time goes on. But for now, this is just another one of them, you know, a little reflection during the retrograde period. And yeah, it's important to me personally to like really finalize is like the word, you know, the karmic lessons associated with our return, so as not to repeat them as much as is possible. And until the next one, 30 years later. And obviously, as Saturn transitions through the other signs during that 30-year cycle, there are different lessons associated with those. But with Saturn, you know, starting a new cycle back in Aries, our Aries house doesn't have any of the major planets, but it does have like some asteroids in it. But it's just a different kind of influence for us, where it feels more like a break, quote unquote, in a way, where we just, you know, don't necessarily feel like we have to focus on that area of our life as much. Like we can look at some of the other things, like our Pluto. That's a fun one. Yeah, I'm gonna go now. I'm done. I don't want to get into all that right now, but and this is 30 minutes. You gotta go beach. I need to get ready. I don't know what else to say or do. Little creepy hasn't moved a muscle. Okay, thanks for being here and listening to me talk about stuff. I ate my apple. Okay. I love you. Bye-bye.